E-Gaming Bets, online betting for every esports fan. Dota 2 and Hearthstone, CSGO and Overwatch, StarCraft 2, the choice is yours. Express bets for multiple matches or live bets on the game you are watching right now. Know your way around Dota 2? Make a prediction for picks and bans. Playing CSGO? Guess the number of rounds in a certain match. Daily quests for all participants and all the best choice of payment systems. More than 600,000 users have already made their bets on the spectacular matches since 2011. EGB.com. You know for sure who's gonna win.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Starladder I-League StarSeries Season 3. We are continuing on with a little bit of Group D, and we are kicking things off once again with Space Soldiers, QB.Fire, and of course, most importantly, Just Harry GG.
Yeah, I don't know how true the most importantly bit is, Tom. But yeah, dude, I mean, like you say, we got QB.Fire versus Space Soldiers. Space Soldiers, of course, doing incredibly well at the minute, and QB.Fire being a kind of newer team on the scene. And, well, I mean, you know, the first thing we can speak about, I think, is going to be the way the vetoes have gone. I believe you're going to have that up on the screen already because we are synergized. Yeah, I know. Honestly, it's going to get... We're like a rapidly improving esports equivalent of Ant and Deck, but worse. And, yeah, so, you know, looking at the vetoes, you can see that the map is going to be Cobble up first. Now, Space Soldiers have just looked incredibly strong on this, and they've played it loads throughout the qualifiers thus far. I believe they've always got a cobblestone game in there in every single one of their matchups, and it's proven to be incredibly strong for them. So this map, I think, is going to go the way of Space Soldiers in an incredibly big fashion. Cobblestone isn't one that QB.Fire are too confident on, but it isn't their worst map either. I just don't think they can compete with Space Soldiers on it. Interestingly enough, they decided to pick Mirage, which I don't know, Tom. It's statistically their worst map.
It's kind of difficult with QB.Fire because a lot of their results are going to be against lesser teams anyway. So coming up against the sort of big boys in the group is going to be very, very difficult. I'm going to briefly just bring up the group while the knife is going on. Don't worry. I'm sure Harry will be watching to let you know what actually happens in that knife run. But at the moment, Space Soldiers lead. Obviously, everybody else in the group is 1-1. And this, well, if QB.Fire win, it will mean everybody is on 1 win, 1 loss, which did actually happen in one of the previous groups and made it very, very interesting to the latter stages. Obviously, if Space Soldiers win, I think that does actually guarantee their path through, so that'll be great for them. Obviously, then I think the last team they have to play is LDLC, who haven't actually looked too good so far. But anyway, enough is enough. We are going to be going into the pistol round relatively shortly, and we haven't actually done this in a while, so I'm going to say predictions. I think this should be... I know where I'm going with this one. I'm pretty sure you're going to say...
I think you've picked a fairly easy one to go for predictions in.
This is supposed... This make us look smart, unless QB.Fire win, in which case maybe not.
I'm going to go 2-0 Space Soldiers.
I thought you were going to say QB.Fire.
I'm going to give some profound reasoning behind it. You know, I think they've just looked really good lately. Calyx and Zentares hitting them shots. Paz as well, always consistently bringing up the rear. So, you know, they've been looking very, very strong. QB.Fire, meanwhile, leaving a little to be desired. They're very limited. Map pool going to be a huge problem for them. Dust being one of their best maps, hilariously has been removed. So,
that's been a problem for a lot of CIS
teams. And it's kind of making them look a little bit dead in the water at this point. They have to try and innovate on that, and you know, they don't have a lot of time to do it in. But we're going to be heading into the pistol, Tom. Take that away.
Yeah, Major actually, out of all the players, they've gone Major as the raid boss. He's going to be taking that Tech 9 and armor. Not going to be Calyx, it's not going to be Zentares. It's going to be the man Major himself. Obviously, one of the newer additions to this team. Calyx is the new boy on the block, and, well, games we saw previously, he was very, very good. Like, picking up the slack, best player of the server on cash by a mile. And I think he was very, very good at the first map as well, especially with this drop control. That's something I want to see how QB.Fire actually react to. We are going to be having them push actually over towards the A side at the moment. Major is going to be waiting over towards drop as the flank player. This is probably why he actually has that Tech 9 and armor in play, because he's got a pretty important role to play. Calyx actually going to be with the utility, and he'll be probably just looking to smoke over towards door just to make sure they can actually get themselves across without any real problems. And at the moment, the site is fairly limited in its defense. It's going to be just Fanat here, the AWPer for the team, and this time he only has himself a USP.
Yeah, Fanat's able to get one. Now it's Fix as well, jamming with the next. Paz, though, trying to equalize things out as best he can, and they've also got player coming in on the flank in the form of Majors and Tar is able to find one more out of Fix in the meantime. Only seeing a player drop out, so I imagine Thor's going to be called in, but Undo on the flank will fall to the hands of Majors, looking to pick up yet another frag, wreaking some havoc. And now it's all on It's My. Centaurus is going to be showing it's anything but as he gets dropped as well. The first round going to be going the way of Space Soldiers, and we're going to be having a player drop out now for QB.Fire. You know, what we're here, Tom? Here's an interesting topic. The name It's My. How does that make you feel? Makes me feel like horrific.
If maybe someone like, if it was like Life and then someone else was called Now or Never, and then it could just like continue on as song lyrics. Other than that, I don't know. I think it could just be one of those sort of translation things where you just see players' names and they've just picked up some like UK words and just thrown them in and just to see what it is. I don't know if that's the case. Obviously, you see this sort of joke in like, I actually saw that in Ukraine. There were just t-shirts that made absolutely no sense. So just sort of like, you guys don't know what that means, do you? You have no idea what you're talking about. But maybe it's something really deep and we just don't know.
Well, speaking of really deep, looks like that's what Space Soldiers are about to go over in towards drop as Zentaris and Despe prime to make their way down. Zentaris, first man on the scene, the king of drop, as it were, going to be here. And he does come out from Balbina? I've never ever had to say this name. Balbina. There we go, dude.
That's what I'm going to say anyway.
Well, Balbina is going to be trying to make something happen towards drop. Undo, meanwhile, going to undo. Calix. It's going to be It's My up close as well, trying to face off against Major, but instead he turns his attention towards Zentar as he gets caught looking the wrong way. It's My still alive. He's going to be looking to try and get that trade frag as Fix does fall. Still on the site, trying to hold this down. Balbina as well, going to be backed in the corner, but it's Despe to go aggressive somehow. But I didn't hear him, and now it's all on Balbina. 1v3. He's going to fall as well. Despe picking up 3 frags with the Mac-10, just becoming the Mac Daddy of Space Soldiers, racking in some serious money. That was $1,800 farmed out that round as they convert the first anti-eco.
Yeah, interestingly, not a whole lot of money spent by QB.Fire either, so clearly going to be saving, maybe even straight in for a double-up setup. Now, that would be quite a nice way to actually start things off, but the problem is the likelihood is there may be some, like, SMGs left in play, and that could absolutely shred through those AWPs if they just run and gun, which can be very common on this map, especially if Space Soldiers are feeling confident, and I don't know why they wouldn't be. They're definitely the favorites, not only in this matchup, but in the group as well. And in this round, at least, it is the Mac Daddies just doing all of the work, cleaning so much money into those accounts of the Space Soldiers. And Undo, can he at least take down Paz? It is actually one of the AKs, so if he got this kill, it would be wonderful. But if and buts aren't going to win anything, as Space Soldiers will get themselves a 3rd round. And they're actually dropping most of the Mac-10s.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to opt to play it safe, which is always a fairly interesting decision. I feel like Space Soldiers are usually the kind of team to push the boat out a little bit with, you know, how they go for these rounds. It wouldn't, you know, normally I feel like we would have seen them just stick with the SMGs, instead opting to play things safely. Going to be going with the 4 AKs and the AWP on Despe. And while Despe is going to have a good spawn for B, he tries making it across first. We're going to spot this player up towards Plat, and oh, It's My! That was your bullet, and now Undo is going to go down as well.
No way!
Going insane! This man is a beast as he finds 3 frags. Now it's all unfixed, and Fanat. And they're all the way over towards A. They've already been locked at the site, and to think about saving. Fanat is still sure that it's going to be mid. He's still positive. Finally turns his attention towards B. Quickly realizes death is on the other side of that door, and bam, there it is. Delivered by Zentares. Freshly for you. It's all unfixed. He's trying to hold on to the M4. 1v5. Bomb isn't even down just yet. They're just going to keep hunting him, and it might pay off here. Zentares, a wonderful shot to deal with Fix.
Like, we make the sort of comment about, okay, maybe they'll run and gun with the Mac-10s. Didn't think he'd run and gun with the AWP. That was ridiculous. Despe just ending the lives of all the players on the B site. And what a way to start. Normally, well, at least recently, he's been pretty quiet, so that's going to be a huge confidence booster. We've got triple nade coming in. See if this is able to do any damage. Obviously, maybe setting up to see if Despe is going to push in towards that B side once again. It's not going to be the case. They are in that general direction, but they're going to take their time. Obviously, against the pistols, running and gunning is a little bit more risky, as you know that they can get close and personal.
Oh, Fnatt does find some good damage out of Calix, but Despay and him, they're quick to return it. Going to be extending that 2-man advantage now early on. It's about being over towards the long angle, trying to find some damage out towards Platt. Interesting for him to try and stick this angle with the Deagle against the AWP of Despay, especially when you consider the shots he has been landing, but still, I mean, if there's anything you can admire, about Bina, it's those huge balls. Sadly, they make him a much easier target as Despay's able to wipe him off the face of the earth. Zantara is now peeking on out, looking for a second, and he'll get it. That Space Soldier's on 5. Finally, we're going to see QB.Fire with enough money to buy back down once again, but already Space Soldiers are mounted a huge amount of cash in those bank accounts. $8,000 on Despay, $12,000 on Major, $12,000 on Paz, and everyone else around the $8,000 mark. They're going to be able to buy up well into round kind of 9, regardless of the outcome of these next couple of rounds. So not too much pressure on them just yet.
Yeah, Fnatt definitely was one of the star players previously for this team, but look, he's gonna go for the knife. Paz gets to turn around. Don't know why he decided to go for the left click, but it doesn't matter at the moment. Undo's still doing the work, but Despay will quickly dispatch him as well, and Calix calm and collected as he finishes off one more. That was a great opportunity for Fnatt to not only get the first kill, but to get a knife as well. Doesn't quite work out, and Paz actually gets both entries onto the site, so definitely doing well for his team in the end. A little bit of luck going his way as well, but that buy was just reduced to nothing in seconds. The aggressive pushes just can't stop them at the moment. The CT side unable to do anything, and now they're going to be forcing once again with just some pistols, a scout, and a little bit of armor even.
Paz, he's hungry for this. Flash goes out. Fix is going to face that full on. He's going to be completely far gone now. Calix over towards B. Meanwhile, looking to try and lay down some hurt. Albina's able to get one, but then Calix trades things out. Undo's here. And, well, he's going to get undone himself. Centaurus finds that frag. Now it's Fnatt, and it's Might finding themselves in a 2-on-4. Question is, QB.Fire, what is it? I mean, maybe towards B, it's Might finds himself alone. Is it your B site? That's the question. I mean, right now, it's looking like anything but. Bomb is going to be slowly but surely rotating back. It's Might will go aggressive. Might be able to catch Zentares on the rotate here, and as he pushes up, you can already see Fnatt now rotating over towards this A site. They know it's not going to be B because of It's Might's positioning. He actually managed to grab the AWP. Bit of an error to let him go ahead and grab that on behalf of Space Soldiers. But he's just going to be holding over towards B. If Fnatt gets pushed out of that site, it will just be the save called in, and already he's been isolated over towards the murder hole.
Yeah, there's no real reason for them to push anything too aggressive. Fnatt should just be there to try and stop them getting anywhere near that AWP. And wouldn't be surprised to see some aggressive pushes coming out at the moment from the Turkish side, of course. They have so much money to play with. It's unusual to see every single player on a team above $10,000. That just doesn't happen. And it really does show how dominant they've been in this first 6 rounds. None of them really being close. Major so confident in this round, he doesn't even look like he's at his keyboard at the moment. He's just sat there completely still. Fnatt is going to be trying to take something out of this round. Does manage to at least make it a little bit more costly. It's Mai going to miss the shot, however. Does rectify this shot with a quick scope. And, well, we'll be leaving it down to just 2 at least. Making them rebuy, maybe dropping a couple below that 10k marker. But still not going to be anything too damaging to the T-side economy.
I just don't get how his name is, It's Mai. Like, we all have those names that we come up with when we first start that haunt us forever. If his name was like XX Dragon Slayer 92 or something, like just terrible.
Wait,
but
why are you telling them my name?
It's Mai, or like Tombiz 14. Like, just, we all
just
have
Harry
those names that stick
GG,
with
baby.
us. Yeah. But it's Mai. How do you even get that one to begin with? How do you look at that and decide, yeah, this is a good name?
I feel like this has turned from a little bit of a joke to actual cyberbullying.
No, yeah, well, okay, yeah, well, lay off him. As, no, I believe he is the focal point of a lot of attention because of the nickname. Still, would be interesting to see if he keeps it. I want him to. A lot of respect for him for having that.
He's already dead.
And now, he's dead, actually, so Despay, clearly not as much respect as I have for him. Going to be shutting him down early on. Bit of a flash in from Fix to slow down the push, and Undo looking to try and peek on out to undo the damage that has been done to the side of QB.Fire. He's going to peek out wide, does find one, but the trade comes through thick and fast. On behalf of Paz, Centaurus, once again, the king of drop, going to be flashing himself on out, and we'll be able to find one and a Fix, leaving it all on Fnatt, who does do a lot of damage through the legs of a couple of players, but ultimately trying to save this up, falling on back over towards the A site in Space Soldiers still haven't even got that bomb down. They're just going to be going on the hunt. He's able to find one, but now they know where he is, and just a tidal wave of Turkish players going to be falling on into his position. There's Despe to find himself a third, and he gets the oh baby a triple. And here's the tack pause from QB.Fire. What do you think they're saying, Tom?
The big problem with this is I don't feel like Space Soldiers have even opened the tactics book. Not even like flipped to one of the better pages. They've just left it on the desk and gone, guys, I think we should just push into the B site and kill everyone every round. And the problem is, at the moment, yeah, you could talk about utility, you could talk about whatever you want, but even when they go for these aggressive picks, they're losing every single time. Despe has won the AWP battle every time so far. He's 13-2. Now, that should never be happening. He should be winning every single duel. Fnatt is not a bad AWPer. We saw him yesterday actually go toe-to-toe with LDLC, and they actually won train, and a lot of that did come down to his AWPing. So maybe just reposition him away from that A site just to try and have some hold over B. But whatever's going on, it is just a trouncing at the moment. Space Soldiers, as well, it has to be said, a very momentum-based team. If they get their confidence going, I don't see them stopping. It looks like Calix is just going to run in with a mag now.
Yeah, it's going to pay off as he gets that first. Balbina goes down. And well, on the flank, actually, we can see that one player's coming in. It's going to be It's My, but he misses all those shots and will be dealt with. Now, Paz finding one, going to try and spray transfer. Can't quite connect it for now to get one more. Finds himself the second. Now, Major to try and refrag. Finds good damage in through Chicken Coop. Despe knows where he is as well. And Fnatt, once again, looking like he might opt to fall on back and save. They have got enough money to go for the buy here. It is a 1-on-2. This is the best scenario they've been in. He's going to try and go for the peak. Finds that first frag. And now it's all on Major 1v1. QB.Fire could potentially get their first round on the board here, playing it around the statue. He's going to land the shot. And that will be them picking up their first round. 4 frags there for Fnatt. Defuse going to come in as well. But still, I mean, at this point, they're trying to play this game called CSGO, and this one player keeps kicking their ass. It's not the Legend 27, it's Despe, who is just going insane right now. QB.Fire still get that first round, quite importantly, underneath their belts. And thanks to the money being fairly strong in the first place, they are going to see themselves with a nice bit of cash now in the bank account across 3 of these players. But still unrivaling the likes of Space Soldiers' bank accounts. Look at them. Still with, what, 2 players over 10 grand?
It's always nice when you say a player's name and then they 4K the next round and win the first round from the CT side. It does make me feel pretty good. Couldn't have expected that. Big stuff coming out from Fnatt to get them the round, and hopefully it will build them a little bit of confidence. I don't think the tac pause did too much because him killing everyone didn't seem too much of a tactic, but you never know, maybe that was what they were talking about. And well, so far so good in this round. They're finally punishing the aggression of this T side. Still don't have any control over a drop at the moment. Zantares is still alive. Despe, the man who's been on fire so far, but it is going to be the nice little crossfire that pushes into drop. They take control, and they actually get 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, and this is where they could be finding their momentum a little bit here over on the CT side. You can see that Fnatt especially is going to be stepping on up and out-rivaling the likes in terms of kills of Paz and Zantares, close to being in similar territory to those 2 players. Quickly looking to try and redeem a couple of rounds here for QB.Fire. You can see they go for a bit of a switch up as well, often to send these 2 players aggressively out towards mid. That pop flash is going to slow down the push, but you've still got Fix dedicated to this. Fnatt's there as well with the AWP in hand. The only issue is they're very, very barren and empty up towards long. Now, Fnatt's trying to rotate on round, but they will be able to hear this rotate coming in. Zantares trying to grab control of drop, the king of drop. And oh, that's why Balbina goes down through the smoke. Zantares. Oh, he's ridiculous. You can see why... You can see why he's one who's not too prone for being witch hunted every now and again, because my god, he knows his stuff, especially with drop down there. You cannot fall in there. Fnatt in towards stairs, back and be facing the wrong way. Has to now pivot around on the spot as his teammate Fix dies in mid. Long control going to be going the way of Space Soldiers right now. And Fnatt's not in the best spot to try and deal with this. As Despe pushes out mid, he's going to be able to make the call, and there's Paz as they just split peek around him, leaving it on It's My and Undo to try and come back into this.
Yeah, the big problem there for Fnatt is he couldn't actually scope. He couldn't scope the AWP without telling everybody where he is. Undo will, however, catch out Paz on this rotation. Back in. Nice shot from It's My. I think this should be the moment where they decide to go for this. They've already got themselves 2 kills. You can see Undo switch up his position. They're going to try and challenge. The only problem is the 2 they're challenging are the 2 arguable stars for this team. Zantares is going to be waiting. Takes down the first. Calix is watching this long position. It's My will be able to take 1. Now it's down to this 1 versus 1. Calix versus It's My. Can the name finally work work for him. He's going to be tapping this bomb. Calyx just above him. Just cruel. Finishes his dinner. And that will be the round going the way of SS.
Yeah, someone needs to tell Calyx it's not good to play with your food, but that's exactly what he does. That's going to be Space Soldiers picking up their 9th round here in the T side. First half of this map, we do see QB.Fire going to be buying on down. They got enough money to do so, but are having to invest very heavily into this one. The economy will be in ruins if they lose it, so it's a very important round for them. Space Soldiers is a chance to pick up a 2-for-1. Major, interestingly enough, going to transform into the ultimate Mac Daddy for the side of Space Soldiers, despite being up against a almost fully bought QB.Fire. The only interesting point is that Fnatt doesn't have armor at all, and Undo and Fix both missing that head armor do mean they're open to being one-shot by even the Mac 10.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be a good point to make, that this weapon can still be very deadly against players without head armor. Even just the surprise factor of it. Once again, Fix, he's going to be isolated in drop. Molotov stops Barbina from doing anything else, but he will be able to trade, importantly. And Calyx actually took a lot of damage. Now they're going to take into account Bogdan's lore and throw over the AWP to the low HP player. And Despe will be taking that AK in hand. Gonna have them pushing back on towards this A site. Now Fnatt, been 8-8 for the last few rounds. They're gonna want him to have a little bit more of an impact, playing a much more passive style over on the site this time. Does have a little bit of support in Barbina, but not really too much to go on. And actually, in the meantime, we've seen a peek coming over towards long. That's going to be Despe, while the rest of them actually push in. And his fake is actually going pretty well as he picks up It's My.
Yeah, Barbina now going to rotate around and hold on to the site as opposed to playing that connector area. It means he's very far away from A. Fnatt has to try and lock this down solo. Smoke's raining in to cut it in half, but there's a gap in the smoke. Calyx says, no, you're not going to be using that against me anytime soon. Shuts him out. And that's what you get for trying to abuse these smokes that Space Soldiers so carefully laid down. Barbina can't connect the shot, and a Major bomb's going to go down. It's a 2-on-4 for the retake, but Calyx is looking very low. Major's only got the Mac 10 as well. They lose Undo, and there's Paz with a ridiculous shot out onto Barbina to secure Space Soldiers the 10th. They reach double digits. QB.Fire still only on 2, and their economy is going to be down and out for the count as we head into round 13.
Yeah, it sort of seems like a similar situation to what we saw in the games yesterday, where Space Soldiers start ridiculously quickly. Once they finally hit a wall, they switch up their tactics a little bit, slow things down, and it just works, so they're managing to catch out players left, right, and center. Well, now 10-2. Pistol's going to be pushing towards this A site. In the meantime, the B site has completely fallen. Major being the scout at this point, just running around with that Mac 10. Obviously, if he dies, it's not too much of a loss. And they're going to be pushing him from behind, and they're going to bump into Paz.
Yeah, he does get caught out in the open there. It's going to fall. Undo how to pick that up. The AK going to be in his hands. He's going to look to fall back and save, but the instead falling somewhere to shark-infested waters here. Left to fend for himself. Does find one, but Calyx primed and ready to go. Is going to be able to trade that out. They're doing good damage. Fnatt and Fix over here over towards the... well, it's just watching the angles, and Torres is looking the wrong way, but they missed the shot, turns around, the spray transfer, gonna get one, gets the second as well. And I don't know if that's Zentares being good or them being, I don't want to say bad, that's the wrong word, but how did they miss those shots? He wasn't even looking at them. Instead, they line his, line the bullets around his body like the white line at a crime scene, and he will survive. 2-11. And now QB.Fire can finally buy down once more to try and rectify this, put up a bit more of a respectable scoreline in their CT side half.
We will have Fnatt back on the AWP. Major even going to invest into a rifle this time, deciding the Mac 10 isn't going to be his weapon of choice. They're just going to be pushing aggressively over towards this B site. Every single player in that direction at the moment. There will be a little bit of a push coming from Fnatt, but I think he already knows that it's going to be going in the other direction. The push from Undo will actually leave him close on the edge of this smoke. Now, are they actually going to check? Paz just goes straight past. A lot of them do, but it's actually going to be the trade, and it's going to be It's My to kill his own teammate. Not helping at all, but in the end, Fnatt will bring back the man advantage until Calyx takes one down. It's all onto Major. The bomb left on plat. He's got plenty of time to play with. Trying to fall back at this point in time, almost mind game his opponents into making a mistake.
Yeah, looks like he's going to do the long rotate over towards A here. There is still plenty of time left for him to play around with. Now, he is currently sitting at the bottom of the leaderboard for Space Soldiers. Usually someone who actually, for you know, all purposes, puts up a fairly consistent high amount of frags, considering he's now going to be making his way in to try and retake this 1v2. Now, Itzmai's got a lot to prove here. Like you said, he was able to take out his teammate over towards Platt early on. So if this round does go the way of Space Soldiers, I feel like he's going to have a lot to answer for in Major. Well, he's gone for a long flank. These guys aren't in any position to deal with this. Certainly not set up in a good way to try and trade, but it doesn't matter. The crossfire does come out. Babina quick to reposition, reinforces Itzmai there in the hold. An 11-3 scoreline secured as QB.Fire do find themselves another, and a potential for them to pick up a fourth here, but plenty of money for Space Soldiers mean they can afford to buy down everything they're going to need, all the utility in the world, and still have money left over to invest into a pension or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing that's what they want to do.
Still a long way back. QB.Fire. And look at this aggressive push. Major, no fear, straight out. Not going to be able to achieve anything as of yet. Does spot a couple of players. Gets the information for his team, but he's going to be traded after Zontares again takes over drop control. I feel like I've said that way too many times in the last couple of days. Somebody needs to stop this man. We are going to see a rotation coming in. A third man comes over towards this B side, leaving Fnatt with the Mag 7 over towards A. He's not going to be able to do too much. It's going to be the entries from Paz, who's been very, very good so far in this game. And leaving just Fix to try and fight this back. Does manage to get a couple. The problem is now... Oh, I was about to say maybe Fnatt could do that one, but it's not going to happen. Calyx well positioned, and that's a 12-3 T-half for Space Soldiers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, on cobblestone, which I would consider to be really the home ground of Space Soldiers, what is there that you can do? I think the main thing with you know, facing off against Space Soldiers, if you can, you always say that you manage to say Zontares takes control of drop a lot. That's not a QB.Fire problem. That is you know, a consistent, almost every team in CS problem. If you can keep Zontares out of drop, then you win. That's how you beat Space Soldiers on cobblestone. But he knows that position. You know, you know, some teams were, you know, merely adopted the drop down, whereas he was born in it, molded by it, and that is gone as Zontares. This time, QB.Fire going to be going quickly over towards B as they make their way out towards Platt. Undo trying to grab control of the drop down, and it's going to be handed over for free for the time being. So they will be given this B site almost entirely for free. The main difference is that Space Soldiers have two players now going aggressive out through mid, three on the retake, trying to come on in. Now Paz is going to be tagged down low, but he's still holding Rock, and he actually managed to drop that bomb as he does find Fix on the rotate. This is quickly shaping up to be a very difficult round for QB.Fire to win, especially with Calyx landing shots like that. Fnatt goes down, bomb still isn't planted, and oh, he's going to drop it again. A nice one tap. Albina left in a 1v4, turns into a 1-on-3. Calyx needs to get the hell out of there, as he's still a huge threat, holding onto the fountain. Both of these players, well, then Mike Calyx
so
just land that shot. Yeah, he's good with these USPs, man.
Good with everything. We've seen him play AWP, rifle, pistol. What more can this man do? But more importantly, we got Despe on the Mag 7. My boy, bringing it home. Probably going to be playing either drop or broken wall. Not going to see him on stairs. I'm not really a big fan of seeing the stairs Mag 7, and I am a Mag 7 advocate, so either way, not going to be helping out. It will actually be Calyx with another. I didn't even see the second Mag 7. I didn't see it. I was so convinced about the first, but it will be Calyx to get one. Unfortunately, the trades have come in, meaning that it is going to be down to Zontares. These pistols coming in, Undo with a lovely shot. Paz manages to get one back, bringing it in to a 2 versus 3. But look at the HP. Fnatt has the rifle. The rest of the players are just one bullet away from dying.
Yeah, they might have demand advantage, but they're not looking too healthy. And now Fnatt's going to get tagged down as well over towards Long. He is looking worse for wear. Everyone else, meanwhile, does grab control of B. Balbane is looking to try and force the issue to deal with Paz. Despe is alone. And he walks into the waiting arms of Fix. He is going to fall, and that nice shot might have just secured them this round as Paz about to get flanked on. Is still trying to deal with Fnatt, whom he's tagged down extremely low, but now Paz is on the same HP. And it's just going to be the pre-fire war. Fnatt will be able to win that one. QB, they actually managed to steal an anti-eco out from underneath Space Soldier's feet with their force spike. 4-13 now.
Oh, now we have a Nova. It gets better.
Oh, I love the Nova. I think it's better than the Mag 7. I know that like everyone would have to disagree there, but I just think the range on it is actually phenomenal.
see. We'll see. We'll see if Despe can pull something off with the Nova. It's still going to be the double shotgun play as Calyx has gone back to the trusty Mag 7. But the buy over on the other side. Oh, I was about to say it's much better, but it's just diminished a little bit as It's My loses his head. Has still doing very, very well. Actually top of the board at the moment, 21-9. Calyx and, well, actually Calyx, Despe, and Zantares all on 16. Major a little bit behind, but it's because his teammates are stealing all the frags, of course.
Yeah, man, that's not about stealing. They're just kind of being off with them. Calyx with the Mag 7 out towards long, going to be tagged down low. Has to fall back a little bit, but is going to fall back too passively. They are going to be rotating now Despe in towards drop, and I feel like the meta's changed a fair bit. You don't really see these shotguns tend to play this position. They do normally get beaten by the rifles or by the SMGs. Picks up a fine one on the Calyx over towards A as well. The Mag 7 not going to be paying dividends there. Will be just eliminated out of the equation. Now Major looking to try and refrag. Might peek out and go a little bit aggressive here. Fnatt should be able to deal with it, but no, he's going to fall. Gets caught looking the wrong way. And, well, Major's going to be traded out by Fix, at least. Now put back into a 3-on-3. Looks like QB.Fire is going to be charging towards A site. Only 25 seconds left. They've got to go fast. They've got to go thick. They've got to make their way on in. And Undo, sorry, able to find one out on Zantares. It is going to be a 2-on-3. Bomb still hasn't crossed the site, though, and Despe is there.
Fortunately, the Nova not going to be enough for him to do too much. It will mean it's down to Paz. A couple of low players once again, similar to what we saw in the last round. Can he actually do anything with it? Going for the pre-fire, trying to find Balbin. It doesn't actually spot Fix. And now they know exactly where he is. Fix going to finish things off. 4 kills for him in the round. And QB.Fire are going to be getting another round on the board. 5 for them. Still not going to be any response yet from Space Soldiers, who will have to save for one more round before they can get a bye. Obviously, the aim of QB.Fire is to keep this one as clean as humanly possible.
Yeah, I mean, they've got to keep it clean, right? They need to try building up that economy a little bit more. Right now, there's a few players with a nice bit of cash behind them, but for the most part, they're still looking to be incredibly vulnerable. This is their chance to really bolster that T-side economy. It is easier to get ahead on your T-side, so they do need to bear that in mind, and it will be a huge advantage over Space Soldiers who, for the time being, going to be going all out over towards mid. Fix, though, shutting things down. Going to find 2, finds a 3rd, looking for a 4th. He's going to be on 4. He might be able to get the 5th. But Balbina says no ace for you. Even if it was on the eco and they were naked running at us with effectively pebbles being thrown in their direction, they still not going to let him get that ace. Can't let him get the montage clip. That's just the case of it. QB.Fire will be picking up their 6th, though. Space Soldiers finally able to buy on down. No AWP in sight. Didn't quite have the money. Despe is going to be relegated instead down to the M4, but for the time being, it will just be them 5 rifles and a little bit of utility to try and hold this back.
Boost already going to be coming in for Zantares. To try and find something early on. Will he actually continue? Oh, looks like he's struggling a little bit. Nade going to do a hell of a lot of damage as well. Will catch him and his teammate. But they're just going to stick up there for now. It seems like maybe he's have a little bit of an idea. They're just going to be playing close, and there goes the peak. It will just be a trade, though, as Fnatt is able to get one back almost instantly. We're going to see him now go to peek back towards long. Paz is there and waiting. Just going to be sat in the corner. Now, there is a Molotov on 2 of the 4 remaining players on QB.Fire. One of them is actually Fnatt. If he could use this to actually isolate one of these positions, maybe he can find something a little bit more. Calyx going to be caught out on the aggression, leaving Major on A alone. And the rotation yet to even come in, so they're just, well, sort of gambling that maybe they'll come back the other way.
Oh, the timing. It might work out for Major, but it might not. Not being able to find that entry. Despe is close on their heels. Better try and rotate on around and through the smoke. Does find that trade at least. Gonna put it back into a 2-on-3. Rotate now coming in from Paz, who was far away, but thanks to that one frag from Despe, it slowed this bomb going down and has bought plenty of time for the rotate. They are going to be within earshot by the time that bomb goes down and will be attempting to retake this site. Now, Fnatt's going to have a lot of responsibility to try and deny these first initial entries. They employ a nice boost over the top of Heart, and Space Soldiers are actually going to opt to play things safely. Don't have a kit to play around with. Only a smoke and a flash. Instead, going to fall back, look to save, and QB.Fire will be able to pick up a 7th.
Yeah, she's starting to make a good go of this. Only 6 rounds the difference. Gonna have plenty of money building up on their side, and actually winning the first buy round as well, more importantly. So making sure that Space Soldiers are gonna have to, well, likely to save into the next one. I don't think going for this would really be worth it. They might as well just keep the rifles in play. And maybe just have a few pistols alongside it and then be able to buy up an AWP and such in the next round. But we'll see what they go for. Maybe they're feeling a little bit overconfident and will go for something ridiculous. It does look like they're just going to play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, I do admire that about Space Soldiers playing up against this lineup. They have been very respectful a lot of these times. I mean, they're looking at it right now. They don't want to let their confidence, like you said, they're a very momentum-based team. They don't want to let their confidence get in the way of them picking this up. So they just like to play things safe. They've got enough rounds to act as a buffer. Try and make something happen with the M4s if you can, but it isn't going to be the end of the world if they end up losing out on this. Paz goes aggressive towards long, finds one, finds two, looking for a third, nearly gets it, but Balbina says no, shuts it down, and then falls to his death. Balbina, no, not like this. Even Paz puts the lol on XD in chat, and you know he's had a good time. That's going to be Space Soldiers now with a 2-man advantage. Balbina, why? The bigger they are, the harder they fall, and no one's going to fall harder than Balbina over towards long, and the man who almost equalized that out. Going huge there for his team, almost, until the going huge part ended up being his demise. 2 versus 4 for Nat and its might.
The big problem is they've got to find some entry somewhere. 1 HP. It's might just about going to get away with it. But look at the position of Calyx. He's already on that flank. He's going to be able to tell them the direction where the T's are actually going. He knows he hasn't spotted them over towards A. He's cleared all of the angles. So he can just hold here and pretty much say, okay, if they don't come this way, you know it's going to be B. They already have 2 rifles in position, a kit onto Major as well. 30 seconds left on the clock, and Calyx is still pushing. He's going to be right on the flank. We already see that Ismai only has 1 HP. This is going to be very easy. He's actually going to go for the long-range shot, though. Doesn't manage to connect. Just going to try and fall away, but that's enough to just scare the life out of the remaining T players, and Calyx will even get one in the end through the box. Obviously, 1 HP, and they'll drop him a rifle as well. Space Soldiers, they pull a round out of nothing. A big play from Paz, falling to his death as well. It's not going to help out, and that's going to be 2 points away now from taking the first map.
It's just such a shame that he jumped. If he didn't jump, he would have been fine. But a little bit of a spring in his step means that round will be going to their Space Soldiers. Already, though, Calyx goes down towards long. For now, not willing to make the same mistakes again. And look at the damage done. Zentares, king of drop, just going to opt to stand in that Molotov a little bit longer than he should have. Just turning up the temperature over in drop down. Preheated at 220 degrees and then roasting him there. He's going to go down. It is going to leave QB.Fire with a 2-man advantage. Plenty of time left to try to make their mind up. They've already found Calyx over towards long. Zentares died to utility, so they didn't even get any information out of that play. And instead, they're now forced to try and go aggressive. You can see Paz with the AWP, a mere 22 HP, watching out towards long. Might be able to pick something up here as they go in for the peak. Spots the first, but he can't connect it. If he repeats now, he should be dead. Balbina, meanwhile, going to dispatch of Despe. And as he gets flashed out, Paz is so low, so isolated. It is an easy frag. And Ismai continues his reign of tyranny in amongst the team by just clipping Balbina in the spinal cord with a couple of bullets. It is all on Major. He's looking to try and save the AWP.
Yeah, this is actually going to leave them in an interesting predicament. Now, Major will be able to drop for 1. It's likely that Paz and Despe can buy, but then does that mean they go for the buy and just have one of the players on next to nothing? Do they purchase up a few pistols and just hope the Catalyst AWP can make it work? I think they're more likely to buy in the next round situation, but I'm definitely interested to see what Space Soldiers decide to do. They have a round buffer of 7, or what will be 6, going into the next round, so they don't really need to overinvest, but they may just want to try and break back straight away. The problem is they're not going to do any damage to the QB.Fire economy. Of course, Major needs to save this AWP, and from here on out, he will.
Yeah, and him saving that has made all the difference here between whether or not they can afford to buy down. I imagine we are going to see them go for this. There we go. We're going to be seeing another AWP tossed over to Calyx. Major and Paz can both pick themselves up rifles and plenty of utility as well. Zentares is going to be the player relegated down to a 5-7. Interestingly enough, you know, Major not going to be chucking the M4 over to Zentaris. I guess it's because the idea being Zentaris can try and make the pistol work, whereas Major perhaps needs kind of that buffer in the form of the M4 just because he, you know, it isn't doing as good as what we would usually expect from him today.
We're going to see quite a lot of control taken by this T side. Looking to make their way out onto plat now. Zentaris is going to play in the corner with the 5-7. This is where this weapon's most deadly. Despe actually going to save his life as well. It's mine none the wiser, but both players will quickly drop. Paz is just going to get traded out after he finds one onto Fix. And now it's going to be Major and Calix to try and fight this one back. Calix playing with the AWP. Major in the smoke is going to go down to Fanat, who's woken up in this round. Gets himself 3 kills. And now it's all on the newbie to the team. Calix versus 3. Or 2, sorry. Can't count.
It's going to be an interesting decision when he does opt to fall on back and save. And once again, they're playing this very safe. I feel like, you know, Calix could have put his clutching shoes on, maybe tried to pull something off there, but instead they just fall on back, opt to try and keep the AWP into the next round. It's an interesting decision. They're just going to try and use him as the catalyst AWP. No one else really has enough money to afford to buy down. Alternatively, I mean, they are in, you know, double eco territory anyway, with the money that's going to be kind of on the team. I wouldn't surprise me if we see maybe Major opt to buy pistol and armor, but other than that, I mean, there's the tac pool that's going to be called in. You can tell that they must be getting a little bit hot under their collar here.
Well, yeah, especially when you consider they won the pistol and one other round, and then the other 6 have just been going the way of QB.Fire. They're starting to get a rhythm. They've got plenty of cash. They can buy up even if they lose one round. The other thing is you're going into a position where you have to make a decision, and clearly, Major feels like this is a point where he needs to take time to think about what's going to happen. Obviously, in-game leader for the team, so he's going to sit there and sort of think things through and try and decide what they're actually going to do in this situation. Now, I do think they'll be able to buy into the next round. It'll be 2,400, so obviously it won't be the best buy in the world, but it will be enough for them to get something. Now, in terms of the AWP, I think Calix just has to go for something ballsy. Now, he's very happy to do that. We've already seen him go for some maybe overconfident pushes towards long, but I'd like to see him at least try something interesting with this AWP. Maybe just send him alone over towards plat, and then send the other 4 players or 3 players over towards A1 drop, and just try and basically play off of that. Or do the opposite and just have him as the sort of standard player on A as he normally plays, and then just see if he could do some damage with the pistols over towards B.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if we maybe see Calix try go aggressive out towards mid. They haven't really tried forcing the mid aggression too much. Instead, have been hitting up long a fair bit. Just have him go for the aggressive peek in through mid quickly. If he doesn't spot anyone, fall back on towards the site, play passively, as you were saying, and then see what the pistols can do over towards that B site. You know, long hasn't really been successful. They've tried it a lot of times, but no, instead it looks like, yeah, there we go. Calix out through mid. Me and Major clearly thinking on the same wavelength here, and then they also have Paz over towards long, watching the same angle we've seen him hold time and time again. And actually, because Calix didn't spot anyone going aggressive in through mid, he's going to be playing over towards connector for the fast rotate over towards B. Now both Major and Despe over at long, going to be going for the double peek onto these players, and look at this, somehow Major's got all the way down long, and does push through the smoke, doesn't check the corner, and I mean, it's my letting him get a little bit too close for comfort. Despe able to find that equalizing frag back into a 4-on-4. Now I'm just going to look to fade away. Not going to allow the trade to present itself and give QB.Fire the advantage back.
Of course, we did see one of the rounds that QB managed to win was a pistol round over on that CT side, so it definitely can work. And they didn't have an AWP in the mix either at the moment. Calix actually playing over towards drop. I think that's a bit of an interesting position. We'll go rotating away with a little bit of bunny hopping in the mix as well. Paz is going to go down, however. Now the rotation needs to come quickly from this AWP if it's going to have any impact. May be able to stand towards the balcony and look over towards long. Try and take a little bit of a pixel angle and try and find something over in that position. Will it be checked? No, it won't. Fanat's going to go down. So already damage being done. Nice push from Zentaris. He's going to get himself an AK as well. So they're doing plenty of damage, at least in this round. Calix still with the AWP on the site, but 2 quick kills come in. The safety has been made, and now it's all down to Despe. May be able to retrieve something else. I don't think there's anything better than the AK. I think the only AWP... Actually, no, there was. There was an AWP over towards long. So if he can get that, 1 shot, 1 kill, we know what Despe can do.
Yeah, we are finally going to see Space Soldiers try their hand at the clutch, and it might pay off as, albeit might peek out here. There we go. Despe does spot him and dip out in it. Yeah, there we go. They go for the double peek and Fix quicker on the trigger. Does dispatch of Despe. Interesting enough, we didn't see him try and clutch it out with the AWP, or just opt to save the AWP. Out of all the rounds to save, I feel like that was one that maybe Space Soldiers should have taken. But
maybe they just forgot about it. That was the only thing, because it was down quite early when Calix actually dropped it with the AWP from balcony. So if they didn't know that the AWP was there, maybe they just decided, or it was just him too busy in the moment with that AK to try and actually think about it. Either way, we are going to see them just with rifles in this position. Going to go for the boost spot. Not really the most effective, but Calix through the smoke actually manages to get the first. Also, Fnatt now stuck in this corner. The push through from Bundu is also going to go down as the smoke is just a little bit too late to bloom. And that's already a two-man advantage for Space Soldiers.
Yeah, I think it's all looking a bit shaky here on the Space Soldiers proving ground, but now they've very quickly taken the lead once again into this round. A two-man advantage early on. No trades in sight, but QB.Fire still making good progress over here towards... Oh, Major does spot the head of Balbino. He's going to go down through the smoke, just spotting his barrel sticking on out. And now it's all in Fnatt and Fix. They're going to continue the aggression in towards B. Zantara is playing on ramp, though, setting up the crossfire with Calix. The two stars of Space Soldiers. Death just looming over Fix and Fnatt. They've got a tall order. And Fix, how didn't you see Paz? No, Paz Calix. Then he goes for the peak, finds the burst, but Zantara oh, there he is, avenging the death of his son. That's basically what I view. That's what I view Calix as being, the up and comer. You know, you got the king, and then you got the fresh prince, and that's Calix. 10 to 15. Space Soldiers arrive at match point, and here we go.
Still plenty of money to get a buy on the board for QB.Fire side. Make the score respectable. Now they want to bring it back, but Despe with the AWP, he's going to take the peak early. Undo got to be a little bit careful with the spray through, because you can sort of trace that with the AWP. Despe happy to fall back with that man advantage. You're not going to go for anything too crazy. Doesn't want to go for the sort of hero plays at this point. However, somebody who does is Paz. I mean, we'll spot somebody out. This is a very risky pusher take. I think re-peeking that would just be suicidal, especially with Fnatt holding the angle. Has been one of the heavy hitters. It's might have been very quiet in this game. Fix, top of the board, is already down and out from that AWP. Look at the position at the moment from Paz. He's going to be waiting around the angle. Push, looking like it's about to come in. He's playing very aggressively at this point. Has to be careful. They are going to look to push back in. Both players actually have to be very careful. Bambina goes straight through the smoke. Manages to get the first. Looking for a little bit more. It will be Undo to find the kill. And they've just turned this round around. There's only one man left on the site. It's going to be Major as Calix goes down. And he's not going to be able to connect the spray either. And after, once again, it's only going to be one round. Unless Zantaras can show some real heroics.
Yeah, but Zantaras is sometimes the hero that they deserve.
You guys name wrong, so he died.
Yeah, I actually said his branded cereal that you can buy, the Zantaros.
Oh god.
Yeah, they're 50% whole grain, 50% raw talent. Am I right, guys? He's insane. No, honestly, I think there's a real market for Zantaros to you know, go up against cereal companies I cannot say the names of, because they're not sponsoring this event. But I tell you who is sponsoring, Tom. EGB.
I was just going to come up with more cereals, just like maybe Calix cornflakes. It sounds like a brand.
I mean, what else is there? Like, I can't even think of any cereal names. But,
I feel like Paz could be like some sort of spread.
Just Paz, that's it. There's like an exclamation mark at the end, and it's like in a bright yellow font.
Do you want Paz?
That was really good. Yeah, so there we go, guys. We're pitching some hot new Space Soldiers themed ideas. I mean, Space Soldiers in and of itself could very easily be a cereal. You know, I'm just
Rocker. That's a chocolate bar.
I mean, I always think, yeah, no, okay, I can see a bit of chocolate bar. How about It's My?
It's a song.
Alright, well, anyway, QB.Fire towards long. 3 players here early on. Zantares Just him at PT50, a bucket full of dreams, and a separate bucket full of Zentaros over towards long.
It's my cornflakes. That's what just someone put in the chat. Or fix almost. It's actually dinked up, but doesn't do very much damage, and they're just cleaning house at the moment. The Pistols unable to do too much. There are actually 3 more players over towards this A side at the moment. Seems like the T's are just happy to fall away. They've spotted out Calyx. Pick's going to be pushing in towards Despe. Picks up another one. Looking to finish off Major as well, and it will be the case. He gets another triple for himself, putting himself onto 23. Make it the quad of eco frags. And they're going to be bringing this one very, very close. A 12-3 half, bear in mind. And we're now back to 15-12.
JW's got his own brand. You can have JOO.
Oh.
And the slogan could be good, but not best. Oh,
That's a terrible slogan.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's the, I don't know, like, marketing isn't my anything, apart from the degree that I'm studying. But anyway, 12-15, 3 rounds between these two teams, and Despe trying to put the final nail in the coffin, finds an early frag, finds a second, looking for a third, please fix, not like this, Despe's gonna line them up and knock them down, and just as you're saying that they need their own cereal, he's gonna completely eat up QB.Fire as they make their way out mid. Like a nutritious breakfast brought to you by Zentaros, it's Mike going to find one to try and equalize. Major does go down, but it's still a 2-on-4. They're going to be trying to pincer out towards B. They've got to worry about Zentares, though, for the time being. It's going to be watching drop. The timing's not in his favor, though. He does look away, and that's going to allow It's to peek on out. Might be able to capitalize on a frag on Calyx, but Calyx says no. It's all on Fnatt Rocker. 1v4, pass on the flank. Looking like it's going to go aggressive. Instead, just falls on back, and they're not going to overextend here. They're just going to wait. Let that timer tick down and wait for Fnatt to make the move.
Into the open. Well, going to be missing the first shot. Has him from behind at the moment. Going to be just jumping around. And, well, Fnatt getting very low on HP. Stuck in the middle. And he's going to go down. I just want to point out, the first round that Despe gets the AWP, gets a triple entries. The last round of the map where he gets the AWP, he triples entries. And that's it, done and dusted.
Yeah, that will be Space Soldiers winning that one out 16-12, but that is only the first map of the night. Well, the first map of this best of 3 of the night. That's a terrible sentence, but we have got the second map coming up very soon. That was Space Soldiers pick, in case you were curious. QB.Fire picked Mirage as their map. Interesting decision, I feel, but we can speak about that a little bit after the break. Before we go, for those of you who haven't seen me and Tom cast before, we like to say hello to a couple of you beautiful people in chat as a thank you for you all being here. So shout outs to Vane Leon, TWT Game, Nessun Sakan, Metcab 4, Ozen B45, Mano Warrior, Abraham 2001, oh god, wait, 2001905, One Snoppy.
Oh,
Agnostic Horse, Lucian Mechanic, Expert Faker, Alibi 001, and Just Kaya. There you go. That'll do. Actually, no, wait. Bog Version, Sekaf, and Batman, Lil Batman. That's a good name. You can have a shout out as well. So thank you guys for tuning on in. Thank you all to everyone else. And we will be seeing you all after a very quick break for the second match on Mirage.
Okay, yeah, we'll be back in a bit, guys.